Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Brickgeneral here, back with another video. And today, guys, I'm going to be doing my video regarding PS5 and Xbox Series X. And this was the video you guys want to see the most according to my community poll. I put it up recently, and I asked you guys what you guys want to see recently. And you guys wanted to see the most, by far, my thoughts on the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X. So this isn't just going to be my thoughts of what I believe to be the best. It's also going to include, like, just basically a buyer's guide. So by the end of this video, if you're considering buying one of them, by the end of this video, you will know which one you want to buy. I guarantee it. So, before I start, guys, I do want to mention that in the link of the description of all my videos, I have the link to my Discord, which has a bunch of small creators in it. So, if you're a small gaming channel and want to get some views and subs, join that, because you can share your videos and promote. As long as you're active, you're allowed to promote as much as you want, and most of the people in there will watch your video, give you some critiques, and just you'll be able to grow as a creator. You'll get some more stuff, and also it's a fun time. So, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. So, recently, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X did the reveal events. You got to see basically how they look, all the stuff. Got to see some games on them, well, at least for the PS5, but now we know basically how they're going to be. So, to start, guys, I'm just going to talk about the pure design of the thing. A lot of people have been roasting both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X over the design, and I'm going to say it right now, if the design has a major thing to you, then, like, if it's so much you cannot handle one of them, then get the other one. So, let's just say, personally, I think they're both not that cool. The PS5 looks like a Wi-Fi router, and the Xbox Series X looks like a mini fridge. There's a bunch of memes about this stuff, and most of them are pretty true, but it's a completely new idea of gaming. Personally, guys, I actually don't think the Series X looks that bad. It kind of just looks like a PC, or, well, a PC without, like, much like the color stuff. I would wish it had, like, a green accent or something, but whatever. It's not for me to decide. But personally, guys, I do think the Series X just looks a little bit cleaner. The PS5, it could look clean if you match your setup with it, but I just think the Series X is just more compact, a little bit easier, and personally, I would choose that for the design. But once again, design is completely subjective. If you think one is better than the other, that's completely your choice. Now, that doesn't mean, like, if one is designed better, that doesn't necessarily make it a better console. It just means it looks cooler when you look at it, so I'm not going to really include that. As for the controller, I can't make any, like, assumptions about it because I haven't held either of them, but the PS5 controller, personally, I don't like the look of it. It's far away from what the other PlayStation controllers have been. Normally, PlayStation controllers are more, like, thin and slim, and you can really wrap your hand around, like, differently, and it's basically made for it. Whereas the Series X, along with most Xbox controllers, they're usually more ergonomic. If you look at the Xbox One's controller, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot chunkier, it's a lot formed like where your hands would be. And the Series X is basically the same controller as that, which you don't need to fix something if it's not broke. Which is why I'm concerned why PS5 had to completely basically redo their controller. Because the DualShock controller, even though I personally don't like it, but I grew up on Xbox, so PS4 is still a solid controller. So I don't know why they decided to completely rehaul it. Might be really good, who knows, but the design really shouldn't have a big impact. If you really hate one of them, then go for the other one. But this really shouldn't have an impact on what you get. Next, guys, I'm going to talk about the actual specs. Now, the specs you should be focused on if none of the other categories besides design apply to you. So, BR Gaming, or Bleach Report Gaming, recently put up this graphic that has everything compared between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. And if you look at this, if you know even a shred about hardware, I'm just going to tell you the Series X is better or equal to the PS5 in every aspect. So, there's nothing the PS5 beats it in. The Xbox Series X has similar processor with a little bit higher clock speed. There's more GPU. They have the same amount of memory. The Xbox Series X has a higher SSD, and also you can support more games backward compatible. So you could still play something like Black Ops 1 on your Series X, which is honestly super cool to me. Like, you can play like a 10-year-old game still on the world's best console. Well, as in, like, the world's top 2 best consoles. Not Xbox fanboying, I swear. But, so if you're really concerned about the specs, it's not like a super big difference to the point where it's like one is so much better, but the Xbox is inherently better. It's better in every single aspect. So, if you're worried about the specs, choose the Xbox. Now, guys, these next two parts are going to be the most important parts for when you're choosing one of them. The first, guys, is the games. So, if you are really into some of the PlayStation exclusives, go for the PlayStation. Now, if you're not really interested in some of the PlayStation exclusives, go for the Xbox. Because besides games, Xbox is better in every aspect. But PlayStation has some of the best exclusive games. Like, you have God of War, you have Godfall, you have Street Fighter, Spider-Man, all this. I could go on for, like, hours talking about the great exclusives. Now, that's not to say Xbox doesn't have some decent exclusives on their end, too. They also have Gears of War and Halo. Those are both amazing franchises. But if you're more into, like, that fantasy, like, RPG, like, fantasy Final Fantasy VII Remake, that stuff. If you're into those kind of games, there is so much great exclusive stuff on the PlayStation. Personally, guys, I'm not into any of those games at all. Like, I have no interest in those games at all, so that doesn't apply to me at all, but they are fantastic games. I know they are. Like, I've heard from people that have played them that they're great games. They're just not my cup of tea, but for a lot of people, they are. So, if you are interested in those games, make sure to look up the exclusive games, look them up, and if you want to buy one, if that's what you're debating about, the games obviously is the most important part. So make sure to go for the PS5 if you're interested in those games and you're really going to play them. However, if you're just going to play like games that are for both consoles, like I plan on when I get my Series X, I'm probably going to get either Madden or 2K. I know I just want to play like one of them just to see how the graphics are. Get Call of Duty and probably Assassin's Creed. All three of those games are both across PlayStation and Xbox. So obviously I'm going to go with Xbox since I grew up on Xbox and that. So that's that for which one for the games. So if you find one of them better, choose the PlayStation. As in, if you find the PlayStation games better, choose the PlayStation. If you find the Xbox games, choose that. If you have no preference, choose the Xbox. Now next, guys, I am going to talk about another important fact. This isn't actually directly comparing them. This is just something you should know if you're going to do it. And this is if your friends are on one of the consoles. Personally, I have a lot of friends in the Xbox, but I also do have a lot of friends on the PlayStation. But I've grown to play more with my friends that are on Xbox, so if you have friends that are certainly on one console, go for that console as well. So that's really it. Now, personally, what I'm going to be choosing, guys, I am definitely, if you guys couldn't tell already, I'm definitely going to go for the Xbox Series X. I'm a big fan of Xbox. I've grown up on Xbox since I got my 360, then I moved on to my One, and now I'm probably going to get this. So for me, that's that. But now, guys, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap. This is going to be like a little flowchart or whatever you want to call it. This is, by answering this set of questions, you are going to know what console you are going to be getting if you're getting one on the holiday. So first, also, guys, I completely forgot, the price. If one of them's cheaper and you have no preference, choose the price. So the first question I want to ask is, are you lenient towards one of the games? If you really like the PS5 games, choose the PS5 from the start. It does not matter. If you really like the Xbox games, choose the Xbox games from the start. If you said no, you're not lenient to either of the games, then move on and see, are your friends on one of the consoles, like more? If they're on one of them more, then take that one. If it's like equal or you don't really care, then move on again and say, which one is cheaper? Take the cheaper one. And if all those questions don't apply, then just take the Xbox, because the Xbox is better completely considering the actual hardware. Personally, I think the design is better, and if your friends are on it, that also works, but the only thing I think is the games. So that's the only reason I would take the PS5, but you guys can obviously have your own opinions. There's been a lot of fanboying going on about roasting the other kind. I really don't care. I think either one of them is a great console. Let's be honest here, the hardware differences between the two, it's not even going to be able to be taken advantage of in games that are coming out soon. So you won't even notice the difference if you're playing new games like Call of Duty or stuff like that. You won't know for a couple years. So the performance, really, it's not going to be that crazy until games start taking advantage. Because right now we're at 60 FPS for a console. To move from 120 FPS, that's going to take a major overhaul in all the game markets. So that's going to take a while for it to happen. So we don't know if this new specs are going to be taken advantage of, because the developers have been limited by the specs of the 2013 Xbox and the 2013 PS4. So we won't know about that just yet. But once again, guys, take advantage of whatever games you want. If you're interested in the PlayStation games, go for the PlayStation games. Now, guys, I want to address the fanboys about who are people who are saying, like, oh, this one's so much better. Personally, guys, if you guys are arguing for one, there's no argument to be made. Like, Xbox is better in hardware. PlayStation subjectively has better exclusive games because they're enjoyed by more. And that's really it. Like, there's no actual argument. Like, they're both great consoles. The hardware, it's negligible. As I said, right now it's going to be negligible for the next couple of years. So there's no point in arguing like which one's better. It's whatever suits you. It's personally made for you. And guys, if you guys did not get your answer based on this video, then make sure to leave a comment below. I'm sure I could help you and help you figure out which one you're going to get. Also, guys, if you guys want to know when to buy one, I would definitely say, guys, if you don't want to buy one, like, right off the bat, like, I'm only buying one originally off the bat just because I want to get it out for content, but if you're just buying it for personal use, honestly, guys, I'm going to recommend do not buy it, like, in the first year of release. Don't buy it in 2020, and if you can get through 2021 without buying it as well, make sure not buy it through that, because if you guys remember, when the Xbox One and the PS4 first came out, sure, there were some amazing games that came out like 2013, 2014, but still then, they were still supporting for the older generation. It was basically like that was the #1 console still out. The Xbox One and PS4 were just like the top-of-the-line things that, although some games were being made for it, everything was still being made for the 360 and the PS3. So in 2015, 2 years after that, or early 2015, late 2014, that's when things got pretty crazy for the Xbox One and the PS4. Everything started shifting over to them. Developers had finally gotten used to all the new specs, because it had been a while, since 2005, I believe, when the Xbox 360 was released, till the specs were overhauled. So I do recommend, guys, if you guys don't want to spend it immediately, it's probably not even worth your money to buy it immediately, because the games aren't going to be able to take advantage of. Like, playing COD on my Series X when I get it, it's probably going to be the same experience as playing on the One. I'm going to say it right now. Most of the games, it's going to be the same experience, because there's going to be no games that are exclusively made for the Series X. That's be a stupid idea on the developer's part. And plus, they haven't had enough time to develop it good enough for that one. Like, games that are being made right now that you know are going to be made out for the Series X, they can't take advantage, except for the ones that were already shown, like, at the events. Those were already able to take advantage of the hardware because they have access to it, but other game developers don't have access to the hardware. They can't make it to optimize it for that. So guys, as I said, make sure to wait a couple of years to buy it if you're going to buy one, and unless you want to buy it originally, just like I said. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you guys have an opinion on the PS5 versus the Xbox Series X, let me know in the comments below. I honestly don't think one's objectively better. It's personally based on each person. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.